Good morning, CozyCon. Actually, it is just now noon, so good afternoon, CozyCon. I hope you are ready for some more drawing. Today, we're going to be doing gesture drawing for clothed figures and animals. So we're going to start with clothed figures, and then we're going to do animals in the second half. But first, we got to go over some quick things. Let's go over some... Let's see here. First, intro. I am... You can just call me Sixel. I am an artist that works in and out of production and animation. But I love doing figure drawing for practice. You know, enhance my skills. I would not say I am an expert at it, but I love doing it, and I love doing it with other artists. It's so fun, even digitally. You learn so much out of it. So that's who I am. That is why I'm here. Rules. Oh, we gotta switch back. Gotta switch back to the other view for a second so that we can pull out the rule board. The rules. Be respectful of models. We will be working with photos of models that have been submitted to Line of Action. We don't want any body shaming or overly weird praising, I would say I can't think of a better way to phrase it, but we want to be respectful of all body types and all genders and expressions. Next rule, be respectful of each other. So that's no critiquing unless asked for. If someone does ask for critique, we like the compliment sandwich, something nice, something to work on, something nice again. I find it helps, but yeah, don't give negative critique unless asked. Sometimes people aren't really wanting that kind of feedback, and want to be respectful of that. And be respectful of yourself. Everyone is learning here. We're all growing, learning, trying to improve. So if you feel like you are not quite where you want to be yet, don't worry. There's always room to improve. And be kind to yourself, because we're all learning. And have fun. That's the last rule. All right, we can roll the rule board away. There we go. Oh, get over there. Beep, beep. So those are the rules. How to. So we're going to be starting with clothed figures again. Or not again. That's our first time this con doing it. But if you're new to figure drawing, one approach that can be handy is to start with the spine. Everyone who's in the panel, the nude panel last night on Discord, already went through this, but yeah. We start with a line of action, and that's kind of like your spine / where gravity is being carried by the figure. From there, you can kind of add a rib cage. Pelvis. And from there you get a lot of info just about your whole position, right? Where you have stretch, where you maybe have some pinch, where your hips are aligned. Anyway, that's a very popular way to do figure drawing, but if there's a way you prefer to go about it, by all means. This is very freeform. Draw however you feel like. Draw with whatever tools you feel like. I'm using Photoshop and a Wacom Cintiq, but by all means draw traditionally. We had someone drawing on their Switch yesterday, and that was so cool. Actually, I've heard the tip that it's good to draw with a different tool every single time, because it keeps you kind of loose and from getting a little too reliant on one tool. I switched brushes today, but I don't think it's going to be that noticeable. Photoshop doesn't give me as many brushes as I thought. I could not locate a chisel brush in time. But anyway, that's just a neat little tip. So draw with whatever you feel like. Maybe try something different today if you were drawing yesterday. Up to you. It is now time to draw. But I will note that at the end, we'll be doing a little showcase. So if you are participating at home, which highly encourage, please do. It is always so much fun to see how everyone tackles the same drawings. And Even if you're like, I don't do this very often, my sketches aren't very good, don't, remember, be kind. Be kind to yourself, and I can guarantee you everyone wants to see. It was so much fun yesterday sharing all of the different sketches, because you can always tell which photo you're working from, and it's really neat to see how other people interpret that photo or how they tackle it or what things they notice that maybe you didn't. So it's everyone learns from it, so it's super helpful. All right, we're gonna move into some drawing. Let me get my layers turned off. Get a new layer ready. I will pull up, oh yeah, and so for our other tool, oh, 1 second. Let me see if I can open line of action. It's supposed to be open. I believe in us. Streamlabs. There we go. I'll switch to OBS at some point, I promise. Oh yeah, and someone in the comments saying the Photoshop is too pricey, you can look at GIMP and Clip Studio. Yeah, Clip Studio is really good as well. You can draw, I'd say if there's any free program, you can draw on literally anything. For this, it's helpful. I love Clip Studio. I want to love Clip Studio. It doesn't love my computer, so I have to stick with Photoshop. But yeah, any program you feel like, if you want to even just like grab a scrap of paper and draw on like some pencil or a pen, whatever you have handy. I would say don't worry about it looking polished, just, you know, it's just for practice. All right, so let's get our settings ready. We're going to be doing only covered models. I'm going to leave it, I think, unless anyone has any hard objections, I'm going to leave all ages on here for clothed models, unless you guys want to only do adults. If you do, let me know in the chat. Oh yeah, and I'm going to quickly, I think I can, if it'll let me post a link in the chat, I'll post this website in case anyone wants to use it. It's super handy for if you can't go out, if you can't get to life drawing. You know, say there was a pandemic going on for like two and a half years and you didn't get out to life drawing, or it's raining and you don't want to like go out but you want to practice. This is super helpful. I would still say live figure drawing is probably the best, but this is definitely the next best thing. Although you can find, I think places like Crocus Cafe have videos of live model drawing sessions, but I believe that is paid. This you can do for free. All right. So we're going to be doing 2 30-minute chunks. So this is going to be a 30-minute class mode for clothes models. That's going to be 10 poses at 30 seconds, 5 poses at 1 minute, 2 poses at 5 minutes, and 1 pose at 10 minutes. I think I said that right. So the last one's going to be 10 minutes. We're probably going to take like a little, like, not break before the 10 minutes, but it's going to be like a quick shake out your hands. I don't think we're going to need to do a full stretch, but if anyone in the chat really wants to, let me know and I'll double check. This is supposed to kind of be a warm-up exercise in general, so hopefully it shouldn't irritate your wrists. If you find you're holding anything really tightly, try and let go of some of that tension if you can. Don't worry about being perfect. This is the idea, especially in these beginning ones, is to be quick and fluid. All right. I'm leaving on the show in-class tips and guidance because it'll prompt us to stop for a quick second between timed poses so we know how long the next chunk's gonna be, which I find helpful. And I'll read the tips as we go as well. All right, so I think that's everything. Everyone ready to go in the chat? I'm gonna take a sip of my coffee. I would normally advocate for water or like some sort of coconut water or something hydrating, but alas, I am still drinking my morning coffee. Okay, I think we're good to go. I've got my... Oh, I always forget that Photoshop has a scrubby zoom. I know everyone is very used to their scrubby zoom, but I'm I work in Animate and they do not have scrubby zoom. It always catches me off guard. Anyway, all right, well, let's get started then. I'm gonna count us down from 5. So get ready to start. We're gonna be starting with, that's 10 poses, 30 seconds each. At least for me, I'm going to be only working on the line of action, the ribs, and the... Well, maybe I'll try and do more gestury stuff today instead of working on those things first. But anyway, however you want to tackle it, if you want to try and draw figures, you can. If you want to work on only line of action, you can. However you see fit. All right, counting down in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, practice tip. Yeah, their practice tip is to start with the line of action. Then place the 3 movable masses along the line, head, rib cage, and hips. Alright, for real. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go! My digital art issue is that I always draw too big. Already new page. Okay. Yeah, we got like a more pinched. With the head kind of overlapping where the ribs are. It's a very thick brush. Hopefully it's good visible. New page. Do I have time to add legs? Maybe. Oh, no, I did not. There. So there's kind of like a slight twist in this pose. Always drawing too big. It's definitely my thing to work on. Ooh, okay, now we're going like a more horizontal pose. Ooh, but like the pelvis is really tilted. You can really feel kind of like that pinch. But that's a nice arc between. All the limbs, hey? Oh, that's all I got. Our first baby. Big head. Right on top of that ribcage. leg right up. And those feet. Feet. Okay. Challenge myself to try not to take up the whole canvas. So if you're wondering how to tell where your kind of line of action runs through the figure for like gravity, where the weight bearing areas are, typically for two-legged upright figures, that'll be the leg. Usually it's the hip that's the highest, often. Not always, but usually it's the hip that's the highest. It's kind of like gravity working, right? But you can also think about it as the if you were to sweep the leg, which one would knock them over, right? Oop. And that's it for our 30-second warm-up, so I'm just gonna really quick do those little lines to indicate some limbs. Alright, so we're gonna be moving on to our 1-minute poses. I think we had 5? Something like that. I think 1 minutes are my favorites, because the 30 seconds make me appreciate them so much more. Alright, so the practice tip from line of action is to draw from the shoulder or elbow to get bold, confident strokes. Reserve drawing from the wrist for small details. If you try to draw long lines from the wrist, you may end up with lots of short lines that make the figure look uncertain or fuzzy. I have some wrist related kind of like repetitive strain injuries just from working on a computer all the time. And a weird little tip that I find works for me sometimes is to like do a dashed line if you don't feel like you're getting the results with a one line. Just like can be a little bit easier sometimes, and then you can connect them up later. But yeah, make marks however you feel like. Alright, here we go for the next section for 1 minute. 3, 2, 1, go. Whoop, too long. And the good news is those 30 seconds have made me fast. Faster getting at least the indication of the limbs that I wanted to get in. Ooh, 10 seconds, I can maybe try and fill in some little connections. Oh no, we're done. Next one. It's a very action-y kind of pose. Oop, 2 seconds. There we go. Kids are so flexible. I don't think I can touch my foot to the back of my head. Although I am just getting old now, so even just sitting, I'll like be full of creaking. 6 seconds. Oh, I missed that other leg. It's back there. "14 seconds. All right. That brings us to the end of the 1-minute poses. So practice tip is to continue to put down your line of action and other marks from the warm-ups, but do them lightly now. Then start to flesh out the gesture over top of your construction work using the essence of the pose you captured as a guideline. So these ones are going to be I believe the 5-minute poses. I think we have 2 of them. How are we doing for time? Yeah, 12:30. We're still doing great. All right, and we're starting the next set in 3, 2, 1, go. I'm gonna make my brush a little smaller. Bigger and bigger each pose. Yeah, I really struggle with this as someone who moved from I moved from digital, like from traditional to digital, like really early. Like I think I was still in high school, right? And that was like a big thing. Doing gesture drawing was always like, in school they're like, okay, you gotta try not to draw too small. And, you know, that was a problem for me back then, was drawing too small on a page, and now it's like, oh, but I just have such a reliance on constraining stuff to fit. This is really light. I'm not actually sure if it shows up for you guys. A little bit. I hope you're worrying about... Not worrying. I hope you're more focusing on your own drawings. But for anyone who's not drawing and is just wanting to watch, apologies for drawing so light here. This is a little too long out. Okay, and I'm going to do a... You know what? Oop. Size it up a little bit. And just under 3 minutes left. Oop, sorry. I had a slight little like loading. One thing I really want to do at some point is a like dedicated knee study. I feel like I want to understand their secrets more. That's what I do anytime I don't know how to really draw something. I'll just do like a little focus study of it. Just under 2 minutes left. If you're looking for any resources for figure drawing, there's actually a surprising amount you can find just for free. I'm always amazed at what I can just find by searching PDF PDFs and stuff on the internet. "30 seconds left for this pose. I popped a little bit ago. I popped some mostly free resources in the Creative Share. Next pose. One that I found particularly helpful was figure drawing, design and invention, I believe, by Michael, I think it was Michael Hampton. I found that one pretty helpful for doing figure drawing as opposed to like really focusing on anatomy. But I also really enjoyed it was constructive anatomy or classic human anatomy for artists, and that one focused on the nitty-gritties a little bit more. Which I found helpful to have both of those kind of approaches, right? I don't find it helps to only focus on one kind of area at a time. I like bouncing around. I find I get the most... stay a little bit fresher that way if I can, you know, focus on anatomy and then like, okay, now you're only going to focus on shapes and you're not going to think so hard about about the anatomy. And then, you know, but then when you want to know how the shapes work for real, or like how the anatomy works for real, you could switch to that. About 2 minutes left. I'm getting a little too caught up in my shapes. I should just be trying to focus on getting everything in. One minute, 20 seconds left. "45 seconds left." I want to do more study for these kinds of poses. I feel I struggle a little bit just to get everything in. But that's okay. That means I have room to improve. "10 seconds. All right. So I think we're into our last fake clothed drawing pose. And that'll be 10 minutes, I believe. All right, take a quick second to sip your water if you got it, or coffee, whichever you got. Hydration is important though, so I'm probably gonna between drawing the clothes figures and the animal figures, I'm probably gonna like say we'll take a quick 5-minute break, go grab some water, do a proper little stretch. I'm just shaking out my wrists a little bit. All right, so we're gonna start with our next and I believe last is our 10-minute pose. How are we doing for time? 38. Yeah, still doing good. All right. Counting us down. 3, 2, 1, go. This is a 10-minute pose. Sometimes it helps me think about the pelvis if I think about it like a box. You think about that tilt, that perspective. So for example, we're not seeing the top of the back, so that means it's tilted away. Not that you have to get too caught up in drawing a box, but it helps to think about the shapes a bit, I think. So if we're thinking about where weight is being distributed, it's actually now 3 spaces. But you can see that that one hip, the hip that is not carrying weight, is higher, so. Start drawing a little bit darker here in just a second so that it can be a little bit more visible. Alright, start on my darker lines. Oh wow, 6 minutes left. Where does time go, hey? I would like to know who keeps stealing the time. So we're at just about 5 minutes left. If you've already got your figure in, feel free to add maybe some values, some shading if you like. Two and a half minutes left. Minute 30. Thirty seconds left. Get in any of those last little details that you'd like to get in. I missed a line here. And we're done! Oh my gosh. I don't know if you guys can hear the music or if I need to turn it up, but we finished just as like the music was finishing too, which was very nice. Alright. Well, we have finished our clothed models section of the panel. Also, I have the chat for my channel open because I'm streaming both to my channel and CozyCon. I see you, MC Models. Welcome. Thanks for dropping in. The rest of the chat's over at CozyCon if you want to go. If you want to join that, or you're welcome to hang out. We're figure drawing. Feel free to join in. No skill required. Shasta, maybe it's because you're less warmed up. You're saying it's more hard today than last night. It could just be a case of not being as warmed up, right? I went and read my reread some of my figure drawing book, the same one that I linked the free PDF for. I was reading through that a little bit last night, trying to be like, why am I so stiff? Why do I have trouble getting some stuff in? Or at least that's what I was feeling like. I was feeling I was stiff and wanted to have more weight and shape, and that I found that helpful. Sometimes it's just like going reading, having a reminder of like, go back to this, you're fucking this. But often it's literally just a warm-up thing. So if you guys want to take a quick break to stretch, I actually have some stretching. It's the same ones I've used the last few panels, but we got some stretches we can work on. Oh yeah, I forgot. I almost forgot. We did it. We finished. So we gotta pop that confetti a little bit. We do still have another. We have another one to go. But be proud of yourself. Give yourself a pat on the back. You did real good. And if you're just watching, thank you for watching. I hope you cheer on our artists who are drawing. Or if you don't have to be quote unquote an artist to do figure drawing. Even my mom does figure drawing occasionally. So yeah. Thank you. We'll take a quick break to stretch. Let me pull up the stretches. Sorry, I'm gonna go to... I turned off the confetti. Let's go to... stretches. These ones are so good. These are the wrist extension and flexation. Wait, what's the word? Flexion, extension. Alright, so... and also grab... oh, I'm covering it. Sorry. grab some water. We'll grab some water in a second. Maybe just take like 2 minutes to step away from the computer if you need to go grab water. I know I do. I'm going to start with my wrist extension. Some good notes about stretching in general. Don't pull too hard too quickly. You kind of want to ease into the stretch. If you notice any pain, there shouldn't be pain. So ease up if you feel any pain, any numbness or tingling. You know, pull back on the pressure or the pull and readjust your form. Because there should not be pain, numbness, or tingling. Hold for about 30 seconds. I've heard 30 seconds is like the minimum. And yeah, once you've done that, you can ease out of the stretch. Don't go too quickly. You don't want to bounce. I'm going to go into the wrist flexion. I'm going to hold that for a minute. And I'm going to come out of it, shake out my hand a little bit, and then I'm going to go into that third wrist extension. I try and keep my elbow pointed to the sky, my inner elbow pointed to the sky. One of the reasons that repetitive strain injuries are so prone to the hands. I was going to say for artists, but not just for artists. Is because we have those two bones in our forearms, the radial and the ulna, I believe, and they actually crisscross when your hand is prone. So when your palm is down, you know, using your mouse, using your stylus, they're actually crossed, so it can get a little bit dicey and tight with all the tendons and such in your arm and muscles. There's also 8 little bones in your wrist that a lot of things run through, so it's good to shake up your hands, make sure you're not getting too tight. Alright, I'm gonna take a quick 2 seconds. Oh, it cheered again. Confetti is just too eager. Yeah, but I'm gonna take a quick minute or two to grab some water. I'll just step away from the computer for a quick second and mute. But we should still have enough time to really quickly do our last one. Although we might start running tight into time, so might not have time for showcase at the end, but we'll try. Okay. All right. Oh, bigger font. And we'll do animals when we get back in just a sec. All right. Quick BRB. All right, I've got some water. Oh yeah, I'm back. Wah! There we go. And I'm back. We'll just give folks a quick second if they're still grabbing some water or stretching. I know standing up from the computer, I definitely heard a lot of things go crack, 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 crack as they unfused a little bit. Oh, it's good. Stretching is good. Probably gonna go get a walk after this. Loosen up. Rest and exercise are important parts of, I was gonna say health. Art, you know, it's, you can't just be drawing all the time. You gotta also rest and exercise to strengthen all the muscles. There's lots of little like wrist and arm exercises you can do. Don't like overdo it, make sure you're also resting, but those can help. Back muscles can help, core muscles can help with your drawing and your posture. Yeah, at some point I want to see if I can make like a little, maybe a little 2D model that's a little bit more like motion capturing, but for now I'll just move stuff around by hand occasionally. Alright. That should probably be enough time for people to get back. I'm gonna go ahead and queue up the animal drawing section. Does anyone have any strong objections to insects? If anyone has any strong phobias in the chat, I'm happy to remove something if needed. I like how there's no insects, but there's also insects, arachnids, and other creepy crawlies is the section you can just turn on. Like, it has way more flavor than creepy crawlies has way more flavor. I like including skeletons. Let me know if you guys don't want skeletons. I know we're getting into fall. It is the spooky season. But not everyone likes skeletons or wants to draw them. No spiders. Okay. Let's do no insects this time. I think that is fine. They just bug people. Yes, they do. If anyone wants to draw insects on their own time, they do have a section for insects on here. Alright, we're gonna do class mode again. So that's gonna be 10 poses at 30 seconds, 5 poses at 1 minute, 2 poses at 5 minutes, and 1 pose at 10 minutes. And that should bring us pretty much to the end of the thing. So we're just gonna start quick and we're not gonna take too many breaks, because otherwise we're gonna start running into... Wait, let me double check. Unless Vanilla has told me that I can run late, but I don't think so. Alright, let's start so we don't run out of time. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Practice tip. Oh yeah. Line of action. Alright, let's go. Speed running this one. Toad. I definitely feel warmed up from the last one. The last panel. Or the last, the figure drawing. This was me this morning. Beyond. Okay, now he's wrong. I was thinking maybe next year we could try and do... Maybe if people want to submit pets for us to draw. I was thinking that would probably be pretty fun. Didn't have a chance to put it together this year, but maybe next year. Bird. Why do they call them seagulls? Because if they lived by the bay, they'd be bagels. Little dad joke for y'all. I find the line of action really weird to get on a bird, but I'll just start with my classic bird shapes. Oh, that's all I had time for. Pick the line that best captures your energy. Lizard. Alright, we don't have a lot of time to take little breaks in between, so we're just gonna go right into the next set. These are 1-minute poses. Go. Bird. Ooh, got some camels here. was actually doing some hoofed animal study recently using that that PDF, the Atlas one that I linked a little bit earlier in the creative share. I found that pretty helpful. I was never a horse girl. I never really liked drawing horses young, so I feel like there's a gap. Whenever I come to actually draw them, I'm like, oh shoot, how do I do that? His hand is a little bit more up here. Ooh, 6 seconds. I feel like this is a bug. I guess it doesn't count it as a bug, but feels like a bug. Got little eyes. There's even pincers. Come on, man. This is a bug. Sorry. Sorry to everyone watching who didn't want a bugs. Let's write a strongly worded letter to them. No bugs. Bugs of the sea. That's what these are. That's a seafood. Alright. On to the next one. We don't got time for breaks. Remember, animals do not have backward knees. Rather, many animals that look this way are standing on their toes. What you think of the knee is actually ankle. Yes, and remember, they still have a heel bone. Or at least, I believe at least horses do. And I think cats and dogs. They still have that little ankle, that little heel bone. Alright. Wait. There we go. I'm just gonna pick one of these to draw. So yeah, you got... This is like their shoulder. Or no, is that the knee? I think that might be the knee. And this is a 5-minute. Such dainty little feet. Really not getting the perspective in here, am I? Hmm. This butt should still be a little bit more back. 2 minutes left. You can draw all the deer if you feel like it. I am electing to only do one. Skew? Can I skew this back? Yeah. Okay. I need to actually shrink this down a little bit. I need to keep in mind this nice shape that they got going on. We can see this, at least for this one that I'm drawing. That line down is a really nice visual aid. Oh, already done. Sorry, it's a pigeon. It's I love pigeons. I'm very glad we get this for our next 5-minute one. Everyone's favorite little, I know people call them trash doves. They're also called rock doves, if you did not know. Fun English fact if you're into that sort of thing. Pigeon is actually the French word, or the Norman, I think it's like a French / Norman borrowed word. And dove is the Old English word. Which I always find interesting, because usually in English, the French word, the French borrowed word, is usually the higher class word. Because of the Norman conquest. I feel like I'm shortening these wings. But just about 1.5 minutes left. Let me give this guy longer wings. Sorry, buddy. I actually find doves really, or pigeons really pretty. I like them. I love the that purple and green that they get in their feathers. That kind of like iridescence is really pretty. 30 seconds. Alright, we're going straight into the last 10-minute, and that should take us to the end of the panel. Wait! Oh, we only have like 8 minutes left. Okay, we're gonna try and do it in 8. Sorry, guys. Let's go! Trying too big. And here I thought that the hour-and-a-half panel would be so much time. I was like, ooh, are we even going to be able to fill this amount of time? Yep. Oh, I've drawn this way too big. It's that, not getting the full... Not doing my planning properly. Yeah, do not eat the rhino. I'm just gonna So we're gonna stop this one a little bit early. Let's do another, let's say I said 8 minutes because we're gonna have to stop. We'll call it in, let's see. Oh my god, math is really hard. We're just doing like, yeah, 2 minutes less, so 4.5 more minutes on this. Actually, this hangs down a little bit lower. I'm always worried that this panel will kind of drag on and have too much time, and yet it just kind of seems like it goes really quick, especially when you're drawing for it. I'm just gonna try and at least get my whole rhino in. Two and a half more minutes. Then we'll call. All right, 30 seconds. All Alright, and that's gonna be it. Thank you so much. I think we are just out of time now. One last little... You did it! Good job! Thank you so much for coming. I think there's a panel coming up next. VTube reveal. Very cool. Enjoy the rest of your CozyCon, everyone. And have a great night, evening, afternoon, wherever you are. Cheers!